Ah, yes! Yes, we are back. Hey there, folks. My name is Amiibo Jason, and welcome back to Smash Switch Speculation, our first episode in over a year, I think. Is that accurate? For
That
this?
sounds about right.
I think that's about right. It's so amazing to be back. I'm obviously here with my good friend, a man who is very far away right now, Hero TJ, who is
Hello, everybody.
currently in Taiwan, who's already
Yes.
started the day, right?
Yep, for me, it is 9 a.m.,
So when is the announcement for you?
10 p.m. tonight.
10 p.m. So you're already there, which is good. So I guess before we get too far into this, I'm hoping that our audio is good, our video is good. You guys can see things, you can hear things. If for any reason you can't, let us know. But tonight we are going to be spending most of our evening discussing who might be coming to Fighter Pass 2. Obviously, tomorrow morning we have an announcement. Mr. Sakurai has a very brief 3-minute announcement about the next fighter for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I think you and I both have a lot of thoughts on who that could be.
We do. Before we get into the woods with this, though, I think we should at least a congratulations are in order for the new challenger who has joined your battle. You just welcomed a new baby into this world, so cheers to you, my friend.
Thank you. Yeah, I did. I did welcome a baby. Let me get it for you. One sec. Here he is. It's the Joker amiibo. Thank you very much. No, yeah.
Yeah,
So
no denying that. Not exactly the one I was aiming for, though.
So I did have my second daughter. She was born 5 days ago. Very small. She was 3 weeks early, but very healthy. She was 5 pounds, 14 ounces when she was born. Very tiny. We were discharged from the hospital 2 days ago, though, so everybody is very happy and healthy. She is currently with Happily Candied. I did get her permission to do this stream before I started, but overall, she's a very chill baby. She's very excited for this announcement, too.
Yes, as well she should be.
So I'm gonna let you start off the speculation here.
Okay.
You and I've discussed this to a degree.
Yes.
Over the past 2 years, we've done this show, and I think there's characters on the list for tonight that we predicted would come to Smash when they first announced it for the
Yes.
Switch. So I'm
Yes.
ready for your first pick.
Okay. Well, I, as you guys know, if you've been with the channel for a while, have been making predictions for the first Fighters Pass. I did get one right. It was Byleth, and I'm not super happy that I was right about it, but that's how it goes. And so far, with my picks for Fighters Pass 2, I am doing pretty good. I guessed an arms rep, and
You
we
did?
did get an arms rep. And so far, that's my favorite fighter that we have in Smash Brothers of the DLC fighters. And when we had Min Min announced, it was also the same week as a Pokemon Direct.
Yeah.
So take not necessarily a direct, but a Pokemon announcement. So I don't really think that there necessarily needs to be a correlation between Pokemon announcement and a Pokemon character
Sure.
in Smash, because Min Min sets the precedent that that's not the case. And while I do think that it certainly is possible with the new DLC coming out for Pokemon that we're going to see a Pokemon rep, that's not who I think is most likely. If I had to pick, and this is probably of the third party possibilities, of the third party possibilities, this is definitely my top pick, and
All
I
right.
also think maybe the most likely, and that would be Crash Bandicoot.
All right.
He's got a game that comes out tomorrow? Is it?
Yeah, on Friday for us, but on the PS4, not on the
Yes.
Switch. So let's
But
keep that in mind.
it is going to release for the Switch. But the date is still to be determined.
Is that a
But
fact?
I believe the logo is on the website, unless I'm very much mistaken.
I
think
don't think it is.
okay, I could be wrong
Let
on
me
this.
let me look to see if it is real quick.
Jason's gonna fact check me here.
Crash 4 Switch. Um Switch version of Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, potentially leaked. Okay. So apparently it hasn't been officially announced, but there is potential that it was leaked according to Nintendo Life.
It seems highly likely that announcement combined with a Crash reveal would be good timing. And Crash would make some serious waves because this is a character who has a long-standing legacy in video games. Maybe he's the best-known mascot in gaming
Yeah.
that isn't already in Smash Brothers. And because he did go head-to-head specifically with Mario, like he's the only counter character that literally called Mario out outside of Nintendo headquarters.
Yeah.
So them's fighting words, and it would be nice to be able to, put his money where his mouth is. It would be really great to have him go against all the other 90s icons like Mario and Sonic. So I would have a blast with that, and I think it would really appeal to a lot of the types of gamers that are purchasing this pass.
I'm in the same boat. And I mentioned this before on Twitter. There are a few fighters who absolutely deserve a chance to be in the game. Crash is at the very top of the list. So I think a lot of younger folks, you and I, we are in our 30s, mid 30s. We remember the console wars. We remember PlayStation versus Nintendo 64. Crash Bandicoot is, without a doubt, the biggest mascot that Sony has ever had. And regardless, I mean, at this point, I guess it's not even their mascot anymore. I mean, Activision owns Crash. Crash is on every console under the sun right now. But from a pure nostalgia standpoint, having Crash, Mario, Pac-Man, and Sonic in the same game is nuts.
It's nuts.
That would complete the entire holy trinity of gaming for me: Mario, Crash, and Sonic.
Yeah.
So I think he's a long time coming. I think if he's not announced tomorrow, he is a shoo-in for the top 5. So for the 3 other spots.
Yeah, he did make my prediction list. I do think you're right. If he's not tomorrow, then he is inevitable. I hope. I don't see that being an impossible arrangement to be able to work out from a contractual standpoint.
Oh,
but he's my front runner for now.
I do have to thank Alan Wilkinson, who is that £5 or €5? I'm very bad with that symbol. Thank you for the donation. We're streaming this live, by the way, if you're listening to the podcast. He says, still hoping to get the Hulk sometime in this pass, but hoping that we get Rillaboom, Grass Starter, or Zarude, Grass Dart for Fighter 7.
We'll definitely address that today. That's a great suggestion. I think you're going to have to keep waiting on the Hulk, though. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no Hulk. But as far as Crash goes, it's a no-brainer. I know a lot of people want Spyro. He does not have the video game royalty resume, in my opinion, that Crash has.
I think Crash edges him out by a fair margin, but I would say that Spyro has the type of pedigree that would earn him a spot in Smash. But what I think would hold him back is he's Chibi Ridley or Purple Charizard. So he just misses the mark by not being distinct enough from the dragons that are already in the game.
Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, either way, if it does end up being Crash, I'm going to be very happy. There's very few characters that could get announced tomorrow that would make me upset. And granted, Nintendo owes me nothing at this point. I mean, they technically owe me 4 fighters because I bought the fighter pass.
Oh yes, they do technically owe you. So
and Nintendo.
My kids are screaming and the door popped open. So let me quickly attend to that.
Close the door. But yeah, like I was saying, there's very few fighters in this pass that could even remotely upset me, and we're going to get into that, I think, further down into this. So
your infant baby is more behaved than my.
All she does is sleep. All she does is sleep. So that's all you can hope for. So that's your top pick, Crash.
That's my top pick, Crash.
He's my number 2 pick.
Okay. Well, lay your top one on me.
All right. You ready?
Oh, I hope I am.
My pick is simple. My pick is clean. My pick is simple and clean. My pick is Sora from the Kingdom Hearts franchise.
Oh.
Sora makes a lot of sense as a fighter. There has been rumors Nintendo was trying to work with Disney to get Sora into the game.
Yeah.
There has been rumors as long as Smash and Kingdom Hearts has been out that Sora could potentially make it to Kingdom Hearts. And whether you love Kingdom Hearts or hate it, you cannot deny the star power that Sora has in the video game world. So there was 3 mainline games. We have 10 plus spin-off games, many of those on the Nintendo consoles. You had Nintendo DS, you had Game Boy Advance back in the day. There was a Kingdom Hearts game on that. We have Melody of Memories coming out in November, which, again, as you said, with Crash coming out this week, Melody of Memories, this could be a really nice crossover between that game and this announcement. But Sora makes a lot of sense. He's a sword fighter. He has an interesting combo set. He has magic powers. He fits the bill. He really does. And I think a lot of people would love to see Sora come to Smash.
I agree with you. And Sora did also make my predictions list from the video I released before. I think that the most confusing thing about Sora is the relationship between Disney, Square, and Nintendo. Like, what I don't think anyone expects that Mickey Mouse or Donald Duck or Goofy are going to appear in this game. They actually violate the one rule that Sakurai laid out, which is that a character must originate from a video game, and none of the Disney characters do. Sora, however, does. So it is an interesting relationship that he has with the Disney family and the Disney characters. The ownership over Sora is quite convoluted. I still think that that's not enough to prevent him from getting into the game. He feels a little bit more to me like a showstopper. He feels a little bit more to me like a late end kind of Fighters Pass character. Try to finish out with a bang, especially if they're not planning on having another Fighters Pass. Like if they really want to give people a compelling reason to buy. I've never played any of the Kingdom Hearts games, but I am well aware of them, and Sora is iconic.
Yeah.
His Keyblade is awesome, and I think that he really would fit in perfectly with the Smash family. So I hope that he does make it in. I think he's a great pick. I don't feel like he's going to show up tomorrow.
I think every character going forward is going to be a showstopper. I think Min Min's tough because Min Min is niche, even though she's a first-party Nintendo character. I think Min Min is probably going to be the least exciting character in the pack.
And ironically, I think probably the one I will appreciate the most.
Again, I mean, it's a very innovative gameplay style. I personally do not like playing as Min Min. I don't like learning new mechanics for Smash. Like, I feel like I have to start over almost entirely with Min Min.
Yeah, same. I don't think I'm going to be a Min Min player, but like a lot of the characters, I appreciate them being in the game so that I have the ability to play as them, play against them, hear their music. Just their very presence kind of enhances the experience in some ways. And it felt like ARMS was the big Nintendo IP that was missing.
Yeah.
They have so few new IPs because their existing IPs, their evergreen titles are so compelling that they just keep coming up and they keep going back to the well. But ARMS was an experiment and they created something new like they did with Splatoon. And so they got Splatoon in at launch. It was kind of like their segue into announcing Ultimate, but it was missing that first new IP that appeared on Switch. And so Min Min is like the first Switch character to make it into the game. And that's what I think made her so special.
I have to point out something in chat that I've been seeing a lot. People are saying Conquer for Smash.
That'll never happen.
I don't see that happening. I do want to point out, though, I'm going to just tilt the camera right up there. I love Conquer. I have the first for figures Conquer figure right back there. I would love nothing more than Conquer to be in Smash. It's not going to happen.
You're the biggest Conquer fan I know.
Yeah.
And I just don't see that happening.
If Banjo wasn't in the game, I would say maybe. But there's no way we're going to get 2 Square reps. Not a chance. Not a chance. But
Square? Rare. Yeah.
We have more than one Square rep already.
We kind of do. I mean, Diddy Kong is a rare character.
But Nintendo owns him, right?
Nintendo owns him. But he was developed by Rare. He's a Rare original.
Yeah.
He had his own racing game, and Banjo was in it. Like those guys.
That was Banjo's
first
buddies. Appearance.
Nice.
How did your door spring open again?
Let me go get that.
It just opened up again. Okay. I'm not sure what the average age of the people watching this stream is. Tell me, just throw your ages out here. Throw your ages into chat real quick. TJ, I'm asking the folks in the chat what their ages are. I'm curious
Yeah.
what the average age is. Having kids is tough. I have two
It
of
is
them.
tough.
I've had two of
It is
them
tough.
for 5 days, but I've had one of them for 8 years.
Yeah.
So kids are loud. Kids are energetic. It's fun
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Can you guys hear my kids in the chat? Because to me, it's unbelievably loud.
I can hear it in my headphones, but barely.
Okay.
Just
Yeah,
barely.
they're very interested in what Daddy's doing, and their personal hero, Amiibo Jason, is on the screen, so they want to see what Amiibo Jason's up to.
You need to get your kids better heroes.
No, you're a big celebrity in my house.
We have a mishmash of people like ages in the chat. So
Oh yeah, look at
I'd
that.
say most of them probably are not in the we're having kids age group.
Well, I'm the elder statesman of all of you, I see. Nice.
Should I what's your age, man? Do you want to reveal
I'm
it?
I'm 38.
I'm 35. Just turned 35. So,
Nice.
yep, good stuff. So that's so I was going to say that's Conquer. That's Sora. He is one of my predictions for tomorrow. I do have another prediction that's not going to happen. It's the same prediction that I've made every single Smash Switch speculation we've ever had. I'm going to save that, I think, just for a bit. I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay.
As far as
I'm going to
your
go
thoughts on
with
the next one.
the one that I think is second most likely, and I
Don't
kind of
say it.
queued this up a little bit at the beginning. I know this is going to thrill you.
Don't
This is
say
not
it.
this is not a pick that excites TJ. This is a pick that TJ thinks is it strongly within the realm of possibilities, and that would be another Pokemon. In this case, I'm going to go with the Pokemon that I hope it is, and this isn't because of any affinity for this particular Pokemon. This is just because he completes a certain set that Smash has long been lacking, and that would be Rillaboom from
Rillaboom.
Pokemon Sword and Shield, a Pokemon game that I've not played, the first Pokemon game that I have not played of any of the generational iterations. So I have no attachment to any of these characters. However, there has never been a final evolution grass starter in Pokemon in Smash Brothers, and I feel like that is the one key component that we're missing. We have every evolution form represented from the Pokemon trainer. Charizard has been a standalone character in the previous version, and then we had Greninja as the final evolution form, Water. But we have never seen the likes of a final evolution form, Grass Fighter. Now, in Smash's current iteration, Charizard has returned to the Pokemon trainer, but we do have a final evolution form, Firefighter in the form of, that's a lot of Fs there, Incineroar. And then Greninja makes his triumphant return.
Yeah.
But we still have that gap. And I think that Rillaboom being the most recent version of Pokemon, and I would say one of the more compelling grass starters of the last few generations, and I can see how his rhythmic style might be able to create a unique play mechanic. However,
Konga, baby.
he does
Get the
look like
bongos out.
yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think what works against him is he's grass Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
And do we really need grass Donkey Kong? To that, I would say, do we really need another Pokemon at all? I'm really hoping it's not like Urshifu or one that's like another weird random pick.
Yeah.
But so the reason why I'm more drawn towards Rillaboom is because I do feel like it completes a set that Smash is sorely lacking, and there's something about my own personal OCD that would lend some sort of order to the randomness of the Pokemon that we seem to have. And I don't, the randomness kind of bothers me a little bit. So this would in some way satisfy that angle of my own obsessive sensations.
I mentioned this at the top of this broadcast. There are two groups of fighters that would upset me. One is Pokemon, one is Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
Fire Emblem is not going to happen. I'm drawing a line in the sand. It's not going to happen.
I'm so glad that Amiibo Jason has spoken on this because I have had it with Fire Emblem fighters in Smash Brothers.
Nintendo would shoot themselves in the foot if they did that again.
It would have to be the last one because it would immediately set a tone for the rest of this Fighters Pass that I don't think I don't think they want.
But yeah, I mean, we don't need another Pokemon. We do not need another Fire Emblem rep. Um, as far as Pokemon goes, I mean, we have, is it the Crown Tundra? Is that the next
Yeah.
one?
Yeah, that's coming out really soon.
Yeah.
And that's another one of the reasons why I think Rillaboom could get in there. He's also receiving, or already did receive in the past DLC pack, excuse me if I'm getting this wrong because I don't remember, a Gigamax or Dynamax form.
Yeah.
So by adding that to it, it's an obvious no-brainer for a final smash. Our friend Ricky Berg is also bringing up Cinderace, which I have heard a little bit of buzz about, but I agree with him that I think we've just about had it with fire starters. We have already Charizard,
Yeah.
who is in his final evolution form, obviously, and then Incineroar. So having another fire final evolution form, I think, would push us past the point of fatigue. And we really don't, as big and as popular as Pokemon is, there's 1,000 of these things out there. How do you pick? Like, how do you determine which Pokemon deserves to be in? All of the obvious ones are already in.
Yeah.
Like we got the mascot, we've got the most popular starters from the original game included with the trainer. Greninja's a big deal, so he's there. Kudos to Mr. Sakurai for predicting that one well ahead of it actually materializing in pop culture. But then you got other ones like Jigglypuff. I know that people like Jigglypuff, but to me, Jigglypuff's legacy, not unlike Captain Falcon, is more defined by Smash Brothers than by their own series.
Yeah. I agree with you that he would make sense from a grass starter point of view, but I also agree with you that Donkey Kong and him are far too similar. I sincerely hope that we get somebody new, something outside of the realm of a fighter we have 10 reps of already. I think Nintendo, especially now, wants to focus on fan service to a degree.
See, here's where I feel a little disconnected.
Sure.
Would this be fan service?
No.
Is Pokemon so big?
No.
Like, I know it might irk the Smash community. I'm not overly thrilled with the idea of another Pokemon, but is Pokemon so big that you put one of them in this Fighters Pass, it's going to increase people's desire to purchase the game or purchase the Fighters Pass?
I can't imagine that would be the case. I can't. What's the crossover between hardcore Pokemon players and Smash players? I'm really curious.
It has to be pretty big because
I guess Nintendo is Nintendo. People love Nintendo anything, but I can't imagine there is a major want of another Pokemon rep right now. And in chat, keep me honest. I'm super curious your thoughts on this. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if this is the fighter you want, and I'll shut up right now.
I checked out of Pokemon and Smash once they added Karate Fox. I was like,
yeah.
I was like, do we really need Egyptian Blue Karate Fox? I would say no. At the time, I didn't realize what a significant character he was in Japan.
Yeah.
But to me, he seemed like a random pick. Now I've kind of just accepted the fact that Lucario is in the game.
Yeah.
But I'm not thrilled about it. So adding another one, like maybe if he did go in Donkey Konga style,
yeah,
that might be pretty cool. And if you centered all of his moves around grass or rhythm, then it might give him a distinct move set. Certainly could. I have full faith that Mr. Sakurai could pull off an incredible, interesting, dynamic character.
Do you want to know the real reason I don't want him?
Yes, I do.
I don't want his amiibo. I just don't.
What?
I'd get his amiibo, but I wouldn't be excited about it. I mean,
let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If you could pick any final evolution form grass starter, which one would you pick out of any Pokemon game?
That's tough. I'm gonna pronounce this name wrong. Decidueye?
Oh yeah, he would have been cool, and he almost made it in too. Sakurai said that it was between him and Incineroar, but he went with Incineroar because he'd always wanted to play with a wrestler's fighting mechanics.
Sure.
I kind of do wish that he did go with Decidueye personally.
I think he makes the most sense as far as uniqueness to him. The first time I saw Rillaboom, I immediately thought Donkey Kong.
Like Rastafari and Donkey Kong?
Exactly. Like Alolan Donkey Kong.
Yeah. I was kind of keen on him until I started looking at the picture that you have up here,
Yeah.
and it does just look like Donkey Kong with green grass dreadlocks.
Apparently, I said the name right. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, you
That
did.
makes
You
me
did.
feel good. Sceptile is another one. I might have pronounced that one wrong. Um,
My favorite of all the grass starters
yeah.
is Superior.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But
He
I
looks
think
ridiculous. How would he
he
move?
would yeah, it would he's like a serpentine.
Yeah.
So having a snake body, I don't know. I guess they proved that it's possible with Piranha Plant. Although I
Yeah.
don't really think that there's anyone out there who would be like, "Oh yes, thank the masters of Smash, we got Superior, this 2 or 3 generations old
Yeah.
Pokemon starter." But the fact that I personally enjoy him does not necessarily mean that I think he would make a good addition to
Yeah.
Smash Brothers.
So I think we're ready to move on to some other picks. I want to throw a Hail Mary pick at you real
Oh
quick.
yeah, I want to hear it.
First Hail Mary pick of the night. I have two Hail Mary picks. My first Hail Mary pick of the night is Young Impa from Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity.
It did cross my mind.
Young Impa is already taking the internet by storm.
She sure is.
I'd like to believe that Nintendo knew the moment they decided to put her in this game that she would be huge. She's super cute.
Yeah.
She is a ninja. She is very anime esque. So I think she makes a lot of sense to be my Hail Mary pick if Nintendo wants to do some hardcore cross promotion. And
Have you seen the hashtag Simpa for Impa?
no, no, but that makes sense. That does make sense. But Sakurai said that he has no control over who's in the game. And I'd
Yeah.
like to think that Nintendo is in cross promotion land at the moment. I wouldn't be shocked if this is one that we would see. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. Not tomorrow. But like I said, it's my Hail Mary. I could see Nintendo going this route. And it's a first party character. They don't have to share revenue. They don't have to pay to get this character in their game. And Nintendo likes that money.
Yeah. I do hope that, now Crash notwithstanding, that Nintendo does kind of play this a little closer to the chest and keep it in the family a little bit more. I know that they really want to expand their audience with the third party characters, but I'm a Nintendo player. It's the Nintendo characters that excite me the
Yeah.
most. I want them to keep it in the family because those are going to be characters that personally appeal to me more. They obviously have the financial incentive of not having to pay any licensing fees for characters that they don't own. But then I guess they have to measure that against the justification of bringing in an audience that they wouldn't have otherwise had with characters like Joker from Persona and stuff.
Yeah.
Along those lines. So Impa would be a fun character. She's the only reoccurring Legend of Zelda character outside of the Triforce bearers that are not already in the game.
Yeah.
And she has so many varied iterations. I couldn't imagine a version of Impa that would have really worked well in Smash other than the Hyrule Warriors version from the past Hyrule Warriors game. Maybe the one from Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
But a lot of the other Impas were designed in more of a ancillary character capacity, just as a utility character to get from point A to point B. But as she started to develop more as a character, games give you more unique versions of her, and this one is one that's very easy to imagine in a combat scenario because we literally get to see her in a combat situation in Hyrule Warriors. But it makes me wonder then how much of her moves would actually be defined by a non-Nintendo produced game. We know that this is a Nintendo design because it's from Breath of the Wild. So even though this version of Impa makes her debut in Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, it is Nintendo's design.
But it's essentially the granddaughter that was in not Breath of the Wild anyway. The design is almost exactly the same.
Yeah, hair's a little bit different and the tattoo pattern is a little bit different, but the facial structure might even be the same model.
Sure.
But that's not surprising. They're family. They look alike. And so there's that.
Do you want to hear my last Hail Mary for this series?
Yeah.
Okay, my last Hail Mary for Zelda. I want you to think of Pokemon Trainer, how you can swap characters in.
Yeah.
I could imagine the champions being one fighter that are swapped in at the player's command. So 4 fighters, in one fighter, very similar to Pokemon Trainer, and how it's how the mechanics would work. So the champions I think make sense. The champion amiibo are getting reprinted, even though they'd have to get their own Smash amiibo, I guess, if that did happen. But that would be interesting too. I think the
So you have
champions
like
have a better chance of getting in than Impa.
you're playing as Rivali, and then all of a sudden you swap, and it's like Daruk is ready to roll.
And maybe that would be too overpowered. Maybe. Again, this is my Hail Mary pick. This is my absolutely ridiculous pick.
Well, what it does have going for it is that it is a really complicated and convoluted play mechanic.
Yeah.
And that seems to be what Mr. Sakurai has been aiming for all these DLC characters. He tries to change the way the game is played with every single one of them. And that would be really difficult to do. That would be a really hard way to play.
The chat hates this. The chat hates my thought on this.
Yeah. I
know,
can't say that.
I said it's a Hail Mary, guys. It's not going to happen, I'm sure.
The reason why I would not like to see what if it did? The reason why I don't really want to see the champions is because I don't think that there's a way to feature all of them.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want them to prioritize one of them.
Yeah.
So
it would
we
be
already
Rivali. We know this.
He's already in the game. He's just wearing a space jacket.
That's true.
So while it would be cool to be able to play as those characters, I feel like for me that itch is going to be much more satisfyingly scratched from Age of Calamity. I've been clamoring, even in one of the previous Smash Switch speculations we talked about, we wanted to play as the champions. I really do feel like that the champ, so much work went into developing these characters that were so tragically underutilized, but now there is almost the perfect avenue through which to explore these characters in a playable capacity with Age of Calamity that I don't really feel like I need him or want him in Smash anymore.
All right. I was expecting a different reaction from you on this one.
Because it would almost feel like a less cool way to play as them than in Hyrule Warriors.
That's true. All right. I am done with my Hail Mary pick for my first one. I have one more for later tonight, but I'm going to let you go next.
All right. Now, this next pick, I don't know how likely it is, but I don't want to count it out. Nintendo had a pretty banner year amidst all of the challenges and strife that has been faced not just industry-wide, but worldwide. But one of the standout champions, not just of the Nintendo Switch, but of any form of medium in 2020, is Animal Crossing. In my predictions video, I did shout out one character in particular, and that is none other than the guitar-stroking KK Slider.
Of course, I do not have a KK Slider picture to put on the screen.
That's fine.
I will get one.
So the reason why I think that this has potential is because Animal Crossing it started out as a niche but beloved series. Well, that's a very appropriate picture.
Boom.
And it has morphed into a cultural phenomenon. KK Slider has a lot of interesting angles that you can go to because he's not a fighting character, but neither is the villager, neither is Isabelle. They're these cute little charming characters that in their own game have not a violent bone in their body. Unless you're me as the villager and you run around hitting people with your nets.
True.
But KK Slider doesn't have any obvious anger or aggro angle. But with that sweet, sweet guitar, I could see him nest batting up a storm or playing some music and maybe some kind of rhythm component where if you can push the buttons according to a certain sequence or on the beat, it can enhance the hit power or enlarge the hit box or maybe even defend him in a certain way. I think it offers a lot of possibilities and then also incorporates another character from a series that is quickly emerging as one of Nintendo's biggest of all time. It's only a matter of time before Animal Crossing overtakes Smash as one of the best-selling games on the Switch. Maybe it even becomes number one if it continues moving at the pace that it is. And Nintendo's continuing to support it. So we already have Isabelle, who's kind of like the biggest character outside of the villager themselves. So, and we have Nook that makes a small appearance as, did you say he appears in Isabelle's Final Smash?
Yeah, and
Villagers. Right, because they build the house real quick. So Nook is the only other character that I think is big enough, and I don't know that the Final Smash is enough to keep him out because obviously we have Chrom as an Echo Fighter, and then Chrom also appears in Robin's Final Smash.
Yeah.
So would it be possible to have Mr. Moneybags in there, Tanuki, Tycooning all over the place? I think he certainly could, but I think it would be more fun to be KK Slider, so that's why I'm kind of throwing my weight in that direction. I will admit this is kind of an outside pick, but Sakurai does like to surprise with characters like Piranha Plant. I think this is a character that would surprise. Would it delight? Perhaps.
Here's why I disagree that it's going to happen. In terms of Animal Crossing, there's only so many mechanics that exist. You have your shovel, you have an axe, you have gyroids, you have your fishing pole, you have your net, and all of those mechanics are being used by two fighters already. So if we were to throw KK in, he would have his guitar. Yeah, I get that. Maybe if they went some route where he fights via music, where he could strum a different tune in a different way and it would react in a certain way. Like his guitar is, maybe he's a gunner and his guitar is a gun. And when I say his guitar is a gun, I don't mean in a traditional sense, like he's shooting his guitar. But he could play certain
like blasting
notes.
out music notes.
Exactly that. That would be the only way I could see it happening, but I feel like he would be far too similar to the other fighters because pretty much every Animal Crossing trope is already in the game in some capacity or another. I do like the idea now that I think about it, though, him being a gunner and his bullets being music notes.
Yeah, I think it would have to center around music because it's literally the only thing he does. But he has thousands of different music genres. My walls in Animal Crossing New Horizons are covered with KK Slider albums. Yeah. I don't even know that I've seen them all, and I have no more room on my wall. So that's the guy's one thing. So he's got his guitar, he's got his stump, and he's got his sweet, sweet licks. So if he could wield the guitar like a gun or like a sword or like a shield, he has an apparatus that's highly versatile. And I think what would make it interesting is if it had a rhythm component that Smash has not yet incorporated. Something that is unique, something that has some of the rhythm game elements that are not necessarily part of Animal Crossing, but are part of a lot of games that people are fond of that don't have a presence in Smash yet, like Rhythm Heaven. Yeah. And Rhythm Heaven, I think, would be really fun, and it would be cool to get a Rhythm Heaven character in there. I just think Animal Crossing is much bigger, and maybe they can borrow that. So maybe they can take some of the ideas that are expressed in Rhythm Heaven and apply it to a character that's very popular, like KK Slider.
Yeah, I could see that. Any other thoughts on KK before we move on?
No, I think I've exhausted it.
All right, I'm going to touch base very, very quickly on one that we just have to touch on, and that's Geno.
Yes.
A character that has been rumored for the longest time that has a Mii costume. There has been rumor after rumor that Geno is going to make it to Smash. I'm beginning to think it's never going to happen. I think the longer we go with no Geno in Smash, the less likely it's going to happen. Geno has not seen a role in a Nintendo game, in any game, in since Mario and Luigi. I think there was one on the DS where he showed up in a mini game.
Yeah, the only game that he was featured in any kind of proper sense is his origin game, Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars. But he did make a cameo or two, and one of them was one of those Mario and Luigi RPGs. I don't remember which one specifically. So the character is like more dead in the water than Banjo, but he does still seem to have this fan following. I'm not exactly sure why. I like the character. I would like him in the game, but I know why I would. I played that game when it first came out. Not a lot of people did. So, well, I shouldn't say not a lot of people did. A ton of people who are my age and my demographic played it. The young pups who are coming up now, like let me know in the chat. If you're under the age of 30, did you play Super Mario RPG? Do you have any idea who Geno is? Some people are saying Geno is a spirit. so was Min Min, so that obviously doesn't matter.
I knew you were going to throw that out there. You're very persistent when it comes to the rules don't matter anymore.
I know.
It doesn't
And
matter if a character's in a final smash. It doesn't matter if a character's an assist trophy. It doesn't
it
matter
doesn't.
if a character's a spirit. Sakurai
It
and
doesn't
Nintendo can do
matter.
whatever they
Yep.
want to do.
Yeah, and even though no assist trophy has become a Smash character within the same game,
Yeah.
because Little Mac was promoted to playable character in Smash 4, we know for a fact that it can happen because Sakurai said in the Min Min reveal video that he assumed that the producer of ARMS would want Springman, and it would have happened. It would have happened. So if the ARMS producer would have been like, Springman, please, that's who Sakurai would have made. And the fact that he's an assist trophy completely does not matter. The one rule that has not been broken and probably will not be broken is the only one that Sakurai has ever said. And that's, so sorry, all you Goku and Shrek fans. Sorry to our Hulk fan in Smash. They're probably never coming. But an assist trophy isn't going to hold anybody back. Geno, here's my thoughts. I really do like the character. I think he's a unique character. And Mr. Sakurai has said himself he considered him for the game already. He was already considered for Smash, so it's not like he's not on his radar. And he has appeared in the past as a Mii costume with his own unique splash screen, by the way. I think he's the only one that got that. I think we're going to see that again. I think we're going to see a premium Mii fighter costume a la Sans and Cuphead.
You think
so?
Geno?
He's going to have his own music track, probably that do 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 do, and it will feature a better head. You don't have to try to finagle the Mii face to make it look like Geno. It'll be a full covering mask. He'll probably be a gunner, and I think that's going to be the best that we're going to get. And it's not bad for a character who has one game appearance.
Yeah. I would like this character just because Super Mario RPG is a big part of me. My wife loves the game too. My wife loves Geno. But again, this is a pick I don't want to spend a lot of time on. I don't think there's anything more we could say about this character that hasn't been said before. We've touched on this character once or twice before in the past too. There are two more characters that we have. One is incredibly obvious. One is not so obvious. What do you want to do first? Do you want to go into the crazy pick?
Let's save the obvious one for last.
All right. I think everybody knows what the obvious one is.
Yeah.
Here is my last Hail Mary pick of the night, and that's going to be Master Chief. Nintendo and Microsoft have been playing so nice lately. They are honestly, I'm at a place right now where I'm expecting a Nintendo franchise in some capacity to make it to Xbox.
Reciprocal? Oh, I don't think that's going to happen, but that is interesting.
Not Mario. It's not going to be anything insane, but the amount of love that that Microsoft has thrown Nintendo has been huge.
Yeah.
Absolutely massive. And say what you will about Microsoft and your thoughts on the Xbox. Microsoft, in my opinion, they know what they're about, and they are not as petty as Sony is in terms of exclusivity, crossplay. There's a lot to say about Microsoft and their commitment to gaming. And
I have to admit, I've come complete 180 on them. I've never been a Microsoft fan. None of their consoles have ever appealed to me, and I doubt that I will ever buy one. But man, if I don't appreciate the relationship that they've sparked up with Nintendo, I love that they let Crash be in Smash. I'm sorry, not Crash. I love that they let Banjo and Kazooie be in Smash. I love that Ori and the Blind Forest made it to Smash again. Sheesh, man, let me clean out the gobbledygook in my mouth. They let Ori and the Blind Forest come to Switch. I've been playing Ori and the Will of the Wisps over the last week, and that game is gorgeous and phenomenal. And they said it was going to be an Xbox exclusive, and now here it is, and I'm playing it, and I love, love, love that they're giving me the opportunity to be able to play this on this console. I don't see Nintendo ever putting a game on Microsoft because they don't want the definitive way to play their games to be on another system.
And I don't think it's going to be a game. I think they're going to loan something to them for something at some point down the
Oh,
line.
oh, that is definitely a possibility.
Not
Like
Mario.
a Soul Calibur situation.
Yeah.
Like Link. Yeah, I could see that happening. That's a possibility. Or maybe like Master Chief gets some Mario themed armor or something like
that
that.
wouldn't be insane to think about. But
Yeah, that's not insane, actually.
as far as Master Chief goes, he is as iconic of a game character than any other character in Smash right now.
I think you're right, but when Master Chief first came out, and I could be wrong on this, but all I saw was aggro male Samus. I really felt like Master Chief was iterating upon Metroid, and even though the game style is completely different,
so different,
but not so different from the Metroid games that were popular at the time, which is the Prime series.
So I'm not sure how much you know about this, but Halo is a spiritual successor to a game called Marathon. Marathon was a first-person shooter that originated on the Mac, which is kind of ironic because it went from Mac to Xbox to massive competitors. But
yeah,
Master Chief was never in Marathon, but Marathon was essentially where Halo got its start.
I see.
It was a very wildly popular first-person shooter for computer nerds back in the day, including myself. I quite enjoyed Marathon when it first came out.
I did miss that, but you got this seemingly regular human being whose abilities are dramatically enhanced by a super suit, and that's pretty much what Samus is. And Samus is also a gunner, so you're adding another gunner. I have played Halo. I do not love it. It's not my kind of game. I couldn't really get into it. But what is this character going to do for Smash that
Nothing.
not already done?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Nobody. Okay, maybe with the exception of you. You could be the only exception. People want their nostalgia more than they want a character that's going to be wildly different.
I will concede that point. Absolutely.
I think, again, you love Min Min because Min Min is so different. People would lose their mind, even if this character played exactly like every other gunner, exactly like Solid Snake or whatever. It wouldn't matter. It's just the fact that he's in the game and he's fighting alongside everybody else.
I think you're right. It's the message that it sends more than the character themselves. Like, is Master Chief going to emerge as a top tier character? Is it going to be a fan favorite to play? Probably not, because I would say the lion's share of Smash players are Nintendo fans, and they're probably going to naturally gravitate towards their Nintendo characters. But the fact that you could play with or beat on Xbox's primary mascot, now that is amazing. To have that in the game, that is definitely something. That's a big deal.
He has a couple moves. He has, well, every character in Smash has a shield, but so does he. He has sticky grenades, which could be an interesting way to, I don't know, just.
But so does Mega Man, and like Mega Man is like baby.
Yeah.
Master Chief.
That's true. He's got his rifled butt, where he can do some melee attacks. He's got.
Well, that's something that Snake doesn't have.
I think the big thing
Snake has no butt
that he could bring to the table would be his assortment of weapons, both Covenant weapons and Marine weapons. I think the Covenant weapons are the most interesting. You have the Needler, which is like a homing missile kind of thing that could follow somebody across a course. You have sniper rifles. You have just semi-automatic guns. Very similar
basically,
to Snake.
Yeah, Snake, Mega Man, and Samus all kind of already do what Master Chief does. But I think that is besides the point. Yes,
Energy
his
sword
mechanics.
too. I totally forgot Energy Sword as well.
All right. Now, if you got a gunner who's also a swords fighter, that would be cool. That would be a little bit different. I think that Master Chief would be unbelievable. It would be one of the biggest gets that Nintendo could put in there, because it is not only a character that has a super strong association with a competitor, but it is their current mascot. So Crash is a past mascot of Sony. Cloud is a past character commonly associated with Sony. The way that those characters happen to emerge have created the possibility and the avenue for them to get into Smash. But Master Chief is not like a previous. Xbox owns Banjo, but they didn't really do anything with him. Yeah, there was nuts and bolts, but he's not a character that's actively driving players to Xbox. Master Chief is. That would be, I would say, the same as Nintendo loaning Mario. Because this is their Mario, and he's currently probably the biggest character from the biggest game that Xbox has.
Now this is why it's my Hail Mary. So, number one,
but I don't think it's that crazy. I don't think it's that crazy.
I think it's crazy on paper, and I think here's the reason why I think it could potentially happen. Microsoft is looking to get ways to get people excited about Xbox.
Yes.
There is a generation of kids that has only played Nintendo, and getting them associated with Master Chief is a gateway drug to an Xbox Series X or S or whatever.
You are not wrong. So if you have a 7-year-old kid or an 8-year-old kid, you're not going to buy them a $500 Xbox. You're probably going to buy them a Switch. Then you're probably going to buy them Smash Brothers. Then they're probably going to play as Master Chief. Yeah. And then when they get to be 10, 11, 12, 13, they're going to want to play whatever new version of Halo that Xbox is peddling at that time. I think it is an awesome way for Xbox to continue to move on what appears to be their current model, which is not buy our console. It's our console is one of the ways for you to subscribe to our service. We just want you to subscribe to our service. We don't care if you play on PC. We don't care which version of Xbox you play on. We don't even care if you play on Nintendo Switch. We just want you to play our games. And I'm glad that one of the big three right now are going that route. Yeah. Because who wins when that happens? The gamers win. And it seems like it's working really well for Xbox too. Because they're getting money from me that they wouldn't have gotten otherwise. I was never going to buy an Xbox. That was not going to be me.
I pre-ordered it.
I did buy. I'm glad that they're getting rewarded for this. But I did buy a bunch of Xbox games that they released on Switch. So they are getting money from me that they would not have gotten otherwise. If they decide to put Master Chief in Smash, I think a lot of people will buy that. I already bought it, and I would not be sad or disappointed.
I have my final thought on this is I have faith that whoever it is, Sakurai could make it unique enough to make it an entertaining purchase.
I think you're right.
Fighter Pass. So for anybody in chat that I know people are saying that, I'm cutting Master Chief short as far as like his moveset. I'm sure that Sakurai has something in mind if that is the case. Like he'll make him absolutely a blast to play.
Yeah, and I don't mean to be reductive or dismissive by comparing him to Snake or Samus or Mega Man. For me, it does come from a lack of association with the character. Like I said, I played the game, but I'm not super into it. I think it's more just what a statement it would be for that character to be in Smash. That's the bigger thing than is he fun to play. But that's Mr. Sakurai's emphasis is making characters fun to play. He prioritizes that above everything. He prioritizes that above popularity. Yeah. We got Terry Bogard last time. So popularity is clearly a much less significant factor.
That still blows my mind, by the way.
Yeah, same.
But all right, we have one last pick for the night. I know people are mad we're not talking about Bandana D.
Yeah. We do not need a Goomba with a hat and spear. That's for you, Ricky Berg.
We just lost all of our viewers. Way to go.
I'm just kidding. Okay. All right. We didn't plan on this, but real talk on Bandana Waddle Dee. I think it would be awesome. I think it is time. I am not like a huge Bandana Waddle Dee fan or by any means. I like Kirby. I play probably 50% of his games. I think a Goomba with a bandana and a spear is something we don't have in Smash yet, and that would be fun and cool. I like playing as Bandana D in the games that he's in, the side-scrolling Kirby games. It's time. Put him in Smash already.
We have a new Kirby game. I mean, I guess it could cross-promote Kirby Fighters 2 Is
Is
anybody
that
playing
game,
Kirby Fighters 2? Anybody?
is that not just like baby's first Smash
It
game?
totally is. It totally is. I have not picked it up yet, but I intend to. It looks kind of fun. But all right, you ready to? Are you ready to move to the last one?
I got one more surprise pick for you.
Wait, you have a surprise pick. Hang, I don't have a
Yeah,
picture for it.
yeah. Sorry, I'm springing this on you.
Okay, okay, hang on. I gotta get Google ready to pull a pick up. Okay, go ahead.
All right, this is a character that I have been aware of for a decade or more,
Sure.
but just completely wrote him off. And I, for the first time, played their game last year, and I think they're amazing. And it's also a company that Nintendo has a really good relationship with that has not yet made a meaningful appearance in Smash, and that is Rayman from Ubisoft.
And it makes
So
sense.
it makes a lot of sense. I think if Rayman does happen, I think it's going to be this Fighters Pass. The character has moves that write themselves. He's very unique, super distinct style of movement and moves, and a lot of cool ways to implement him into this game. I think he would be super fun, and he would fit right in with the rest of the family. These cartoony characters are always at home in Smash, and it's just such a fun juxtaposition to have these types of characters fight against people like Bayonetta and Snake that I feel like there is a Ubisoft-sized hole in Smash Brothers that would be perfectly filled by Rayman.
I agree. Out of any Ubisoft character, I mean, you have Sam Fisher from Splinter Cell, which is Snake, so that's not going to happen.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, you have,
You have all the Assassin's Creed characters,
which
obviously,
again, we don't need.
and we already got the Altair Mii fighter costume.
Yeah. So Rayman makes the most sense. This is going to date me a lot. My first experience with Rayman was on the Atari Jaguar.
Whoa!
So I was one of the 10 people who got an Atari Jaguar. My dad picked it up for me.
Nice.
I owned Rayman, a game called, I think it was Kazumi Ninja, and a game called Cybermorph. And they were all terrible except Rayman. Rayman was tough. It was a hard game, but it was a blast to play. Rayman is a part of video game history. He has made his way to many Nintendo consoles. Rayman Legends is a gorgeous game. And
Seriously, it is one of the best platformers ever, bar none.
Ubisoft, and correct me if I'm wrong, chat, and you can correct me if I'm wrong too. Ubisoft was, in my opinion, the first video game company to move into a direction of canvas art styled video game gameplay with Rayman Legends. So I think it was Rayman Origins first. So Rayman Origins, it was running on this Ubisoft engine that everything looked like a matte painting. Very similar to what you see with a lot of indie games now.
Yeah, like Ori and the Blind Forest
Exactly.
is it. It's not as cartoony, but it's the same style of art where they use these very lush matte paintings with a very interesting parallax. I don't know if they were the first to do it, but I will confirm that Origins and Legends are gorgeous. Like the art is just unbelievable. He's such a silly looking doofy character,
Yeah.
but it's hard to really overstate how incredible the games look and the responsiveness and how they feel. And he would have a home right in Smash. And I know that you want to have this disembodied amiibo.
I want to know how the heck they do it.
Here's my plan. You take the base, right? And you just stick the feet right on the base. And you have one little clear support beam that goes up the back that connects to his torso.
Yeah.
And then you have his hands be on his hips so that they can be connected to his hips and they don't have to be all hanging out there in crazy land. And then maybe that back post will branch up and then stick the head in there. So he can be fully disembodied with a discrete, clear post on the back.
Nintendo,
And so he's really only 3 solid pieces. Well, I guess since the shoes are separate,
Sure.
4 solid pieces of plastic.
Nintendo's been getting innovative with their amiibo designs. And I mentioned this, I did an unboxing of Joker. The Joker amiibo is crazy with how they use the fire as a stand.
It really just makes me sad at what could have been for Link.
Exactly.
because Link is in a super similar pose, but he's got that that super obnoxious yellow post.
So is Zero Suit Samus. So Zero Suit Samus.
Hers is not as bad. It's
But
not as
she's
bad.
wearing a boot. She's got the boot. I think she's got the boot. Yeah, she's got the boot. She's got this long plastic boot.
Yeah.
And it's almost the exact same pose as Joker.
Yeah.
Nintendo has been getting so good with making the base just flow in with what they used to use as a support. So I have nothing but faith that they would make it work.
Yeah.
So, all right. Are we ready
Last
to move
pick?
on to
Are we
our
ready?
contractually obligated
Yes.
character of the night? A character
Yes.
we've been talking about now for a year and a half.
Yes.
A character we did an entire episode of
Sure
Smash
did.
Switch speculation on in the past.
That absolutely happened.
And of course, that's got to be Waluigi.
Waluigi, baby. The guy needs to be in the game. It's time already.
He will be one of the 4 fighters to be announced. He has to be.
I will
He
be
has to
crushed
be.
if he's not. He has to be.
There's no reason why he isn't in the game already.
Right. None. Not one.
And
It's a crime. It's a crime against gaming. We have Terry Bogard, and we don't have Waluigi.
at this point, Nintendo, I feel like, is saving him for some grand reveal. Like, the fact that this is Nintendo's call now, this has nothing to do with Sakurai, it's going to happen. He's coming. He's coming. Is he coming tomorrow? Probably not.
Probably not.
He's gonna,
I
he's
don't
gonna be
think
he's going to be the last character in the Fighter Pass. Or
It would be.
or he's going to be a surprise 6th character.
Oh, I love that idea. I can already picture in my head, like they're doing some reveal trailer and Luigi or Wario, like maybe Mario and Luigi are beating on Wario,
Sure.
and Wario summons an assist trophy, and the assist trophy comes out and it's Waluigi, and then he somehow like breaks the mold and busts his way out and becomes a legit playable character, and so like, wah, Waluigi time. And
I could see that too. My thought would be he would do a, what was it? Duck Hunt Dog slight, like kind of thing where it's a bait and switch where they show one character and it's going to be another character.
Oh yeah.
Waluigi's going to come in and just kick somebody in the face.
Yeah, like maybe Goldeen comes out or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
He's like, you think he's going to get his buddy Waluigi, smashes down. It's Magikarp. And then... and then Waluigi comes kicking out from behind. Yeah.
His moveset is, it could be so unique. He is so lanky. He is so different than almost every fighter we have so far. I think if you were to compare him to anybody, it would be like Street Fighter's, what is it, Dhalsim?
Yeah. Yeah, Dhalsim.
Dhalsim. He could do some really interesting things. I honestly think it's happening at some point in the next 4 fighters.
Yeah, because he's got his racket, and I could see him jumping into a Super Mario Kart, kind of like how Wario uses the motorcycle. He's appeared in so many Nintendo side titles. Never a mainline game, but he's got all these side titles, and some of those side titles are represented. Like Peach, I think, hits with a golf club at some point, or Daisy does. Waluigi can kind of be representative of all of the ancillary Mario titles, where he's got the Mario Kart, he's got the tennis racket, he's got some of the other sports apparatus from other games. I don't see any reason why you can't find a super interesting, dynamic, and meaningful moveset for this character who's been in 20 plus games. I mean, he's not his own game.
Not his own game yet.
But you got characters like Ness, who I love, and I love Earthbound, so don't misconstrue this. He has one game. Waluigi is that's not even him.
Do you you don't consider Nintendo to be Ness?
No, I don't.
They're close
I think
enough.
he's beta. That's like saying Lucas.
It's beta Ness.
Yeah, beta Ness. So this is a character with just a long legacy in gaming, and much more deserving and way more fans than a lot of the characters that made it into the last Fighters Pass. Okay, I'm gonna quickly take the stock of this in my head. Yes, he's more famous and been in more games than every single character in the last Fighters Pass. Everyone.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
the fact that he's not in the game is just mind-boggling.
At this point, though, is Nintendo not putting him in the game out of pure spite to the
I have
toxic fan base of him?
I have wondered at this. So if you're one of those toxic fans, knock it off because we don't want any more reasons. I'm not a huge Waluigi fan, so I'm not coming at this from the angle of Waluigi is the best. He's my favorite character. I like him. I think he's funny. I think it's nice how like Mario has Wario and Luigi has Waluigi, and Waluigi and Wario are just these like two mischievous guys who found each other and hang out, and the dynamic is great. He was created to be uh, a doubles partner for Wario and a nemesis for Luigi.
Yeah.
I want him to be the tag team partner in Smash for Wario and a nemesis for Luigi. It's just such a perfect extension of the role that he's been playing his entire video game career. He was literally designed for this exact purpose. Let's get him in this game. This is what he was made for.
That's a good rant. I like that rant. I don't think it's happening tomorrow. I don't. I really don't. I would love to see it. I think I'm still shocked it hasn't happened yet. But I think that's it from my thoughts on Waluigi. If you want to see more information on why we think Waluigi would make a good Smash pick, we have, I don't know if Ricky, you could try to put a link to it in chat. We have a dedicated episode of Smash Switch speculation on this. Actually, I think I can pull it up. Yeah, here it is. I highly recommend you guys check this out. I think it's like an 11-minute video where we just rant for just as much time as we can about why he's an awesome fighter. So, or why he would make an awesome fighter. Any other last minute comments you want to make before we end this stream?
I don't think so. I'm just pumped. I'm really curious to know who it is. I think in all likelihood, it's probably going to be none of these characters that we talked about because that's how it goes. That's typically the way things are, but we've been right a few times and we'll see.
TJ, we should probably end this by telling the good folks at home where they can find you. I'm sure some of you watching right now might not be totally familiar with our channel. We do Nintendo content nearly daily. I've taken a small break with the baby, but we do Nintendo news. TJ has a fantastic series called Custom Conquest, where he creates custom amiibo, some of the best you've ever seen. So I really highly recommend you check it out. Official NFB, by the way, thank you for the $4.99. It has been a long time. It's good to see you. But if you are curious about amiibo, about his thoughts on Smash, check out his stuff. But where can they find you?
You can find me, like Jason said, on the Nintendo Wire YouTube channel. If you want to follow me on social media, you can find me at Custom Conquest. And if you want to follow some of my modeling exploits out here in Taiwan, you can find me on Instagram at, what is it? Forever Fitness TJ.
Oh, yeah, he's a model, by the way. He's a flippin' model. So another $4.99 from official NFB. Right as we're leaving, apparently. I would have loved to talk to you a little bit more during the stream.
Thanks, official NFB.
Amiibo Boy. I remember Amiibo Boy.
Oh, hey, Amiibo Boy.
I totally do. It has been years. We used to be an Amiibo channel pretty much exclusively here. But obviously, as time went on, we have done a lot more than just Amiibo.
Which Nintendo just opened the Amiibo floodgates wide open, which is, I think, will have to be a topic for our next podcast episode.
Goku for Smash, yeah. We would have loved to talk about Goku at some point, but
Yep.
it's the likelihood of it happening is nothing.
Is never.
It's totally
Yeah,
zero.
never.
So
yeah, you got Goku already. He was one of the alt skins for Hero.
That's true.
It's closest you're gonna get.
If you're looking for any information on me, you can find me on my personal Twitter account, @AmiiboJason. I put video content on this channel almost daily. At least I try to. The Nintendo Wiretap, which is a daily news show. We do unboxings. We have some really interesting long-form video content coming soon from the editors of Nintendo Wire, including Ricky Berg, who's been in chat all night. So
Ricky Berg!
And then obviously, if you are unaware, we have NintendoWire.com, which is our main website. We put out Nintendo content 25 times a day. So come check us out. We really pour all of our hearts and soul into that site. So thank you everybody for coming by. Thank you for the donations tonight. And As always, guys, until next time, stay wired in.
Thanks for playing.